Now at 6, over the last year and a half, several large-scale solar farms have been rejected in southern Indiana. The vote no. One reason has been the impact on adjacent home values, which we covered right here last night at 6. Tonight, Focus reporter Travis Breeze explores the value of every megawatt of energy as experts project an energy shortage soon.
80% of Indiana is covered in either farmland or forest land. Some new ideas have sprouted on what to do with that farmland in the last 10 years, including large-scale solar farms.
Jefferson County is known for the agricultural land that has put food on the table for several generations of families here today.
At this public meeting on the Idlewild Solar Farm in Jefferson County, Indiana, one person said the proposed 2,000-acre project would go against the identity of their community. It was unanimously denied.
You're not producing enough for the cost of the land that you're taking away.
We also met Matt Seifert in Posey County, west of Evansville. Seifert is not anti-solar, but he says this 1,400-acre project doesn't produce enough energy to be worth it.
You're talking about this size of project isn't even going to power a quarter of Evansville? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Yes, we need a lot of land, but it is actually a very small fraction of total land available.
Jerome DeMortier, a public policy and environmental professor at IU Indianapolis, studies land use. He says looking at farming industry trends, it makes sense to consider other uses.
Farmland has peaked long time ago. It's now declining, right? So when you're looking at the agricultural census, we are needing less and less farmland because we have a tremendous productivity growth. So in my opinion, the fear about solar farms infringing on commodity prices, or prime farmland on food production, I think those are not warranted.
He didn't put a percentage on how much farmland should be used for energy, but he says we have plenty to spare. One thing we cannot spare is energy. Indiana State Republican Representative Kendall Culp alerted us to this. Do you think that the state of Indiana is not producing enough energy right now?
Well, we are in a deficit, that's correct. And our energy, as we look forward, our energy needs are certainly outpacing the production right now. And we're only like 5 years, is my understanding, from that point to where, we're going to be in real problem.
It's not just an Indiana problem. NERC is a nonprofit in Atlanta that analyzes power grids. On December 17th, it said well over half of the continent is at elevated or high risk of energy shortfalls over the next 5 to 10 years, partly blaming new data centers for the huge increase in demand. Are we at a critical moment right now?
I mean, I don't know about the term critical moment. I will say, these assessments over the past few years have been sounding the alarm.
Diane Holder works for Reliability First, one of NERC's partner organizations. She says while renewable energy projects like wind and solar are increasing, they are less reliable than fossil fuels because they rely on weather conditions. As energy shortages loom, fossil fuel plants that were scheduled to shut down to help the environment may need to stay online a while longer. On his first day in office, President Trump declared an energy emergency and promised to rely more on U.S. oil to fix this.
Some people say, well, there are always ups and downs in the climate, but when you're actually looking right now, it's not an up and down. We are on the upward trajectory. It's skyrocketing.
DeMortier says while renewable energy costs more upfront, if it helps slow the trend of increased natural disasters, the investment will save people money in the future. It's tough for any of us to see how we fit into the energy crisis or climate change. It's easier to see what's out our front door.
There's only so much land, and there's even less of it now that there's a big section covered in solar panels.
The debate has made its way to our rural communities, and many are holding on to their roots and agricultural history. The experts I spoke to say there is more clearly an energy crisis in the country than there is any fears of a food supply crisis. If you're wondering how much solar Kentucky has, it is significantly less than Indiana. That could be because of topography differences in the two states. In the studio, Travis Breeze, WHAS 11 on your side.